always stick my head out and hey, what's up, man? Right? So imagine this scenario. Okay, I go to Audrey's birthday party, right? And I'm like, hey. But instead, if I play like a robot, it goes dong 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 dong. Okay, I'm still kind of feeling it. So the problem is, okay, after I develop this, it's kind of difficult to actually completely go unless I play a MIDI track. But what happens is that after I discovered this, then I went and researched regarding all the great musicians. What did they do? I mean, at the end of the day, the most important thing is what did the greats do? Because if we want to be great musicians ourselves, we have to understand where they came from. Very often it's because of the fact that when we phrase, it actually requires us to push away from where the pulse is. Like if I sang, fly me to the moon and let me stay amongst the stars, how many people would be bored to death by the second time, by the time I sing the second time? So, but then what happens is that with phrasing, you're actually forced to push-pull around the thing. It's actually a natural thing for us. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Fly me to the moon and let me play amongst the stars. I mean, see how far I'm behind? Even though it feels like it's on the beat, if you're hearing it, it feels like I'm doing crotchets sometimes, but at the same time, it's never on the beat. It's actually always off it. It's always off the pulse. That is exactly when I discovered, hey, does everyone do that? And is that the basis behind all good music?
Actually, apples and oranges. Dance music is a functional music. It has a purpose for dance. And even when jazz was a functional music, a dance music, it had a much different pulse than it has now. Now jazz and classical music tend to be absolute music. They exist only to be music. There's not really a goal. Nobody's expecting to dance to it or do anything else with it. And so the purpose has a whole lot, is a completely different thing. So the pulse he's talking about is a much different thing than the pulse that we expect in dance music, because the dance music has to have that pulse, otherwise people don't dance.
It was the most amazing entry-level job to get to know the music business. And I was in the music business. I was working at Warner Brothers in New York City, smack in the middle of my target market. And so the lessons I learned there, a couple of the things I wanted to share with you guys, is, when you're outside of the music business, or you want to be a professional musician, you want to, say, get a record deal or get a professional manager or whatever, you often hear this phrase, they say, don't send unsolicited demos. And they don't really explain what that means. But what you find out is that all the people, whether it's a manager, a booking agent, a record label, they're already packed solid with the people that are already their clients. Then years later, when I started CD Baby, and now all of a sudden I was that guy that was on the receiving end of everybody wanting to talk to me, and it was just too much, and I had the best of intentions, and I had a massive email box, and sometimes I would have to do that email bankruptcy thing where you just kind of select all the leads. So there were some people, I'm sure, over my kind of like 10 years at CD Baby, that sent me an email once, and then they didn't hear back from me, and to this day they still probably tell everybody that I'm an asshole.
For an event organizer or for a marketing point, commercial point of view, packaging is very important. We even have, honestly, 60% of the time, people looking at the musician, you look good, you dress well, you look professional, they get you. You play well, you are really one of the top musicians, your music is really cool. However, they don't even consider you because you don't even look good. I believe very strongly that in this realistic commercial world, people, yes, they do appreciate good music, however, they see before they can hear. That's how I found about Singapore, or rather the brands in Singapore. We sell personalized songs, services in terms of crowdsourcing. Okay, if you'd like to know more about how we do, go expressinmusic.com. I will not talk about my business over here too much. So when we do crowdsourcing, we tell them that musicians, or rather singer-songwriters, sound engineers, they compose stingers, they compose jingles for you, as a form of audio branding. You can design, you can put up your advertisement anywhere in terms of visually people will be able to see it. However, people will also want to hear about you, hear about your brand. However, this is something that I come across as an obstacle. Very difficult to sell. Very difficult to sell to them this concept of audio branding. That what does your brand sounds like in the initial phase. Now it's much better because we have our own market, let's say with marketing branding consultants agencies and as well as video filmmakers out there. So they understand a bit more of the importance of how audio branding is wherever you are sitting, they just have this equipment shining on, so much shining on you. So only you can listen. Elsewhere, you will not be able to hear a thing. They even did a very interesting experiment whereby they talked to people in the library in the second hand. They was like, oh, who's talking to me? Because the library is very quiet. And only that person is able to hear, because the rest will be looking at their books and they will not hear any voice.
Now, I'm not going to make any money out of the short film because I did this for a project. It's a totally separate project. And I did this for a bunch of kids because the project was actually about education. It was teaching. So they're not going to make money. For them, it's a learning experience. But the point is, the music is still needed. Without the music, and I don't know whether I still have the version without the music. But but my point is, if you do get a chance to play, to watch the film someday, without the music, and then you watch the version with the music that we used, you'll see a massive difference. And it's the same film.
In that industry, there's no real benefit to writing music to your score.
Makes sense.
Now, if you're interested in being a film composer, then you do it because you need a part of your portfolio.
Makes sense.
But ultimately, even that portfolio is only going to do just a little bit for you. You've really got to know somebody to get into that business.
I think that will apply in every other area of music, right?
It probably helps, yeah. But I mean, the film industry in particular is really tough.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling I know where he's trying to get at because he wants to have kind of original tracks for the film itself, such that wherever you bring it, you don't ever have to worry about copyright. You don't have to worry about anything. Instead, he's willing to pay the money so that he can get.
He's not willing to pay the money.
No, as in,
because these are projects that are made by students, right?
Not by
Short films are mostly students.
If possible, obviously for free.
Have a chance to really make a difference in the way countries develop. And they can create a population that is remarkable. Okay? But what's missing in the developing countries? What kind of music education did you have in Singapore 30, 40 years ago? Yeah. Not a lot, you know? And this is what's missing in most of these countries. Okay, so the whole point is that I believe that music and technology are a real key to improving education in all across the board. It's not just simply about teaching music and teaching education. Now, there's a lot of other reasons to study music. Music makes us human.